What a beautiful, beautiful blaster. 22 long rifle. You folks listening? Hey there, Daniel. You folks, do you have good audio? Can you hear me well? Give me a thumbs up if you have good audio. Good audio. I want to make sure before we get too deep that you can hear every important bit that I've got to say to you. That was obnoxious. Andrew, what do you got?
I got 1 thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Good. Good audio.
2 thumbs up. Super good.
All right, so here's what I want to talk to you.
Audio is great.
Audio's good. Here's what I want to talk to you guys about you today. Am I in the frame? Is 22, the diminutive 22 long rifle, good for self-defense, for self-protection? Depends. How's that? It depends. So check this out. More people are killed and injured by this little round than any other, really, in the last 100 years. I'm not talking about war. I'm talking about average Joe on the street. People are shot and killed with these things all the time. Is it the end-all be-all? No. What's good about it? Let's go for that. What's good about it? Super cheap, super easy to get, very low recoil, can be very accurate depending on the gun that it's shot out of. I already said easy to shoot as in recoil wise. What are some of the things that are not good about it? Well, it's dirty, can be unreliable from the sense of like a semi-automatic, can be very unreliable because there's not enough energy to cycle the cartridge. Andrew, who's behind the camera right now, my son, he's got 2 or 3 semi-automatic pistols. Come over here for a minute. Now you can see he's a big man with like a beard. Hi, I'm Andrew. But when you were a kid, how often did we take the 22 semi-autos out and we would put them away and you'd shoot a 9 because the things would not cycle right? All the time. So, that said, get out of here. That said, it's kind of the nature of a rim fire. They're not that reliable in the sense of center fire cartridge. They have very low energy, foot-pounds of energy of a 22 long rifle compared to even like a 380 or a 9mm, no comparison. But what do we know about how handgun caliber rounds stop human beings? Well, you've got 3 modes, right? Central nervous system damage or shutdown. So brain stem, spinal cord damage, central nervous system shutdown. Exsanguation, so you cause the person or persons to bleed out. That's done by perforating holes in our body, right? Or structural damage, so breaking bones is going to cause the individual not to be able to stand, hold a weapon, continue to fight. Little 22 is going to have a harder time breaking, say, a femur or a hip bone than a larger caliber round. And then, of course, you have demoralization. You demoralize the enemy by basically scaring them, breaking up their will to win, their will to fight, their will to continue because of your overwhelming desire to win, your overwhelming violence of action against them. So check this out. Why would somebody want to use a 22? Why would you want to use this little round versus something that we know is better, 9mm or something like that? Well, right out of the gate, it's super easy to shoot. So my mother, who's got little tiny hands like a hobbit, it's hard for her to get her hands around a semi-auto, even a little semi-auto, because she's small. She's also not as strong as a bigger person. So cycling the slide is hard for her to do. For example, you know, here's a gun everybody's loving on right now. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. Little SIG 365, right? It's a great little blaster, but it's also smaller to grab onto, heavy recoil spring because you still have to control the energy from that 9mm round because you have less mass with the slide, the recoil spring actually has to be heavier to control what's happening. So that's hard to hold on to. Fast forward back to what we're talking about here. This guy, there's nothing to work here. Load that little cylinder up. By the way, this is a 10-shot revolver. Load that up, close it, you're good to go. This gun is loaded. You pick it up and press the trigger. This gun will never go off on its own. Not that that semi-auto will go off on its own, but if you have a gun that has some stored energy in the striker mechanism, there's a chance something could happen. This gun, if you wanted to, you could carry it on an empty chamber. So you could carry it or store it on an empty chamber. So I've got one empty, and I'm going to line that up with the hammer. So right now, there is an empty cylinder in front of the hammer. So there's no possible way, it's impossible for a round to go off. If you notice the way that these are built, the rims of the rimfire are completely covered all the way around, so something's not going to get in there. So just from a standpoint of, I want to say safety in the sense of the gun itself can just sit there for 100 years and nothing's going to happen to it. That said, you pick this up, all you got to do is pull the trigger. Get good, reliable ammo, quality ammo if you're going to do this. And I'm going to put eyes and ears on. We've got the plate rack down there that is at 10 yards from where I'm standing. Those are like 6 or 8 inch plates, about the size of a human face. So let's check this out. So is a gun like this good for self-protection? Depends. So you're home alone at night. I don't care if you're a big burly man or a little woman. You've got some type of intruder into your home and this is all you have. Stop or I'll shoot. So right there, talking about the unreliability of 22, we had one round decided not to go off. But look how easy, how effortless. We're out here today filming with this, and I thought, hey, we'll go live and just share a little bit of this. I'm going to top that off and do that again. And this time we'll try to shoot faster. Faster. Easy to load. We're shooting just some Winchester hollow points, which hollow point 22 ammo is kind of a joke. There's not enough mass and velocity to cause it to expand. It really doesn't do anything when it hits something. Wow, how crazy. I dug my hand in the box, Andrew, and I pulled out exactly 10 rounds. Pretty sweet, huh? So again, now we're talking about, is this effective for self-protection? You're on the street. You need to use lethal force. I hope you guys know, if you follow us, we're not the kind of people telling you to use lethal force when it is not necessary. But if it does become necessary, I got it. 10 rounds on board. I don't know what that looked like from your guys' angle. So effortless to shoot this little guy. And I'm not trying to sell you this gun, but a 22 in general. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are the toughest, baddest dude on the world. You put 10 bullets in somebody's face, even from a 22, into their thoracic cavity, this breastbone, this chunk of a normal human being, unless you're some guy like my friend John Knapp that's got 4-inch thick pec muscles, which this will penetrate through that. That's going to probably deter you from continuing. So some drawbacks to this. It says hard to reload. You just saw what I had to do to reload it. I'm not just shoving a mag in. But when it comes down to it, I would not feel bad. Lucy, who you guys see on some of our videos, if Lucy had to pick this up out of the gun safe, out of our home gun safe, and go to work with it, you saw how easily we could deploy that. Is there any questions popping up there, son?
look. Somebody said, can you do this all day? I can listen to you all day. I haven't had any training at all, age 23. I watch your videos all day as if I have nothing.
Oh, that's cool.
Low recoil, ease of operation, ease of loading the magazine, and it's all about shot placement. Somebody said they want your body.
I knew some
nice.
kids from northern Wisconsin 25 years ago. It was illegal, so I'm not telling you to do it. These were poor country boys. They fed their family on venison. And these guys had single shot, bolt action, 22 rifles that they probably bought from Sears or Montgomery Ward for $30. And they would poach. I'm not admitting that I did this, but kids I knew, this is how they fed their families. This is way up along Lake Superior. And the local authorities, I don't think, really cared, because this is, again, how these people fed themselves. This is a low-income area. They shot deer 12 months out of the year. They'd find them in the woods. They'd see them on the side of the road, and they'd pop them in the head with a 22. The deer would pretty much drop right to the ground, and they'd throw them in the car. Again, not telling you to poach deer or shoot deer. It's not a humane way of killing unless you have perfect shot placement. But got a piece of cardboard out here. I'm gonna get behind this gun and I'm gonna run it. Move it if you need to. See the cardboard down there. I'm just gonna run it. Woo! I got 2 out of the A zone, but those might have been from us earlier. I don't know. Those all look like pretty good hits to me. A zone hits, 10 yards. You saw how fast I just ran that. Is the 22 good for self-defense? It depends. Depends on your body condition, depends on your finances. Look, man, if I can't afford to go train with 9mm or 45 or something like that, and I can afford to buy bricks of 22, you're damn well better believe I'm gonna get really good with this. I learned how to shoot a 22, rifle, pistol. There's so much benefit to it. Some of the best guys I know are hyper-accurate shooters. Some of the best competitive shooters I know is what I should have said there. And a lot of the guys I know that are really, really good, like my friend Les that you hear me talk about, we're gonna do a podcast with him soon. Les trains, and he's a Team Wilson Combat. Pan over to Wilson Combat. So this is our range here. See Wilson Combat on the wall. So he's one of Team Wilson Combat shooters. Shoots the same Beretta you see me shoot. Les trains with a revolver in 22 because accuracy still has the same components, whether you're shooting a Desert Eagle, a 44 mag, a Beretta 1911, or a old school double action revolver. The same components must exist for you to get good hits. You got to have your sights aligned on the target. Sights have to be aligned on the target, right? As you press the trigger without disturbing the sights. So people argue when they hear me say this, well, what if you're point shooting? If I'm point shooting and getting hits, guess what? My sights are still aligned on the target. I just maybe don't see them. So I like point shooting, but in order to make that happen, good sight picture. So right now I've got a perfect refined sight picture. Equal height, equal light, left and right, height, elevation. And I'm just going to press. By the way, it's not usually very good to dry fire, rim fire guns. So usually if you're going to do that, keep some empties in there. So that's my thought for the day. 22 can be a very good tool to defend yourself. One, if it's all you have. Two, if it's the only thing that you can reliably shoot. Because I'd rather you be able to shoot somebody in the face 10 times with this than miss all over with a 50 cal, than miss all over with a 9mm, than miss all over with a 380. If you can place shots into a target, there's guys that'll argue all day long with this. Guess what? You're an idiot. That guy that's arguing with you is not going to be there to protect you, not going to be there to protect your wife, not going to be there to protect your daughter. Anybody in my family can pick this gun up and do this. I can contact shoot. I'm not going to put my body in front of the muzzle, but if I had to, you could have this pressed into flesh and shoot away, shoot away. It's going to work. So think about that as you're judging what is effective, what's not effective. Think about that as you're purchasing a gun for your family member. Would you break into somebody's house? This is a hypothetical. Or would you engage in some type of struggle if you knew that you were about to get hit 10 times in the face with this? Probably not. Probably not. Think on that. Be well, be safe, spread some love today. Demand excellence from yourself when you're training. Don't buy into bullshit. Don't take any wooden nickels. Can't think anything else. You guys be well.
There's a couple questions if you want.
Oh, we got a couple questions. What do you got, son?
All right. So one is about S12.
What's the S12 question?
What do I need to bring to an S12 event? I plan on taking a few training classes before going, but I would like to know what to bring.
So if you visit CarryTrainer.com, there is a whole list. You're going to have to bring guns, you're going to bring ammo, you're going to have to bring whatever you need to be gone from home for 3 days. We supply food and lodging, any snacks you might want for yourself, things to clean your guns, keep your guns up and running. But all your guns, gear, ammo, you need to supply that. We're not supplying that. Special toilet paper you need.
Somebody asked, how about 22 Magnum mixture?
22 Magnum's great too. I think at the end of the day, and I've got a couple 22 mag guns, at the end of the day, when you're talking about this low a caliber of handgun or rifle, 22 Magnum's definitely got more energy, but I think it's going to apply across the board, the points I'm making. Very controllable. 22 mags, expensive. It's expensive to train with. I know I've got a Ruger single action that it's got 2 cylinders. One cylinder's 22 long rifle, and the other cylinder's 22 mag, which is cool. So yeah, man, definitely better than nothing. Anything else?
Are you still doing local classes?
Mobile?
Local.
Yeah, we do. If somebody's looking for a local class, send an email. Anybody that's looking for any kind of training, you've got a legitimate question, comment, concern, idea, training at CarryTrainer.com, training at CarryTrainer.com. Know thyself. Anything else?
Any training classes coming to Arizona in the next couple of years?
Yeah, man, we'll be down there. The next class closest to that is Austin, Texas in 2 weeks. We've got Austin, Texas, we've got New Jersey, we've got Florida, we've got Ohio, we've got S12 in April. I think I'm missing one. Oh, Kentucky. We've got Kentucky on the board. We'll be putting California back up soon for 2019. We're going to do a Southern California and mid to Northern California class, probably late winter, early springtime. What else, broski?
What do you look for in a range when you are going to put on a class?
Good question. So it's got to be safe. It's got to be legal. Why do I say that? Because there's ranges that are legal to shoot at, but they're unsafe, either because of how the range is run, how the range is built, the berms, burn heights. So it's got to be somewhere that's safe to shoot. We don't have accidents in our class, and that's going to continue. It starts with a good location to train. Legal, I've had guys say, like, we're going to shoot out here in this cornfield, and then we find out you can't legally teach a class there. So it's got to be safe and legal. It's got to have some type of restroom facility, even if it's a clean porta potty. So we've got classes that we hold out in the woods in Washington, private property in dense forest with a clean porta john and a pop-up tent. Good to go. And we hold classes in places like this that are state-of-the-art indoor range facilities. Where we're at in Texas in a couple of weeks in Austin is a gorgeous outdoor facility called Black Tree Ranch. We've got a couple videos up from that facility. What else you got?
With the 22, with the 22, does the shock stack up from the impact enough to stop someone that charges?
With the 22, do the shots stack up? Is that what he said?
With the 22, does the shock stack up from impact enough to stop someone that is charging you?
Question is, with a 22, do the shots stack up enough to stop a charging adversary? I think by stack up, are you saying like a cumulative effect of rounds pounding the same spot. Look, at the end of the day, there's people I know personally that have been shot with rifle rounds. One of our good friends was shot with an AK while in combat and didn't know it until he got back into their transport vehicle and saw blood everywhere. So the big problem with thinking that pointing a gun at somebody or shooting somebody will scare them into stopping, you got to remember a lot of times people don't even realize they're shot until they're on the ground. So that's so unreliable to try to base an opinion on. So I'm going to go with no. We're not going to assume, which is why we move. I'm not just going to stand and let somebody charge me. If I can move, I'm going to move. What else you got before we go?
Somebody asked if you're going to be doing a class in Minnesota.
We need to do a class in Minnesota. We need a location in Minnesota to do a class. I think we've talked to a few ranges up there, but I'm spoiled in the sense I am not going to jump through hoops. There's ranges that will allow us to come teach classes, and they want us to basically pay them an exorbitant amount of money, which there's a right and wrong amount of money, and they want us to jump through a million hoops. It's like, hey man, we're doing you a favor too, bringing a bunch of people to your facility. So if you've got a place that you think we could host a course, shoot us a message, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, you guys have a fantastic day. I want you guys to think about this stuff. You're out on the range. Good sight picture, smooth trigger press right to the rear. Remember, you can't shoot it if you can't see it. You have to be able to align those sights and press the trigger to the rear without moving the sights. Otherwise, you're not going to reliably get hits. Think about that. Be consistent in your training. Have a plan. Have a purpose when you go out to train. Don't just go out and waste ammo and plink. Be well. Hope to see you on the range. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. Peace out.